Northern France, May 27, 1940, Lepinette. The British Army is dying, not slowly, not quietly. Entire battalions wallowed in hours. 300,000 men bleeding, crawling, drowning their way toward a beach called Dunkirk. And even that beach is burning. The German advance does not stop. It does not slow. It does not negotiate. It simply comes. A small British rearguard unit is the last thing standing between that advance and 300,000 retreating men. No reinforcements, no air cover, no armor, no way out. Just open fields, and Germans who can see them clearly. The men around him, rifles raised, knuckles white. He reaches for something else. Not his rifle, not his radio, not anything that belongs in this century. Germans, 30 seconds away, maybe less. He draws. The string at full tension, one breath. He releases. A German soldier falls to an arrow. In 1940, this is a military record, documented, verified, real. His name was Jack Churchill, and this was only the beginning. 1906, Hong Kong. A British officer's family welcomes a son they name John Malcolm Thorpe Fleming Churchill. They could not have known what they were naming. He grows up. He moves through the standard machinery of British military education, King William's College, then Sandhurst, and emerges commissioned into the Manchester Regiment. On paper, an ordinary officer, the kind Britain produced by the hundreds. But somewhere between Sandhurst and the world that was coming, Churchill makes a decision that no military manual suggested and no commanding officer requested. He picks up a longbow. Not as a hobby, not as a passing interest, as a discipline. The same discipline he brings to everything. He trains, he competes. And in 1939, the same year Adolf Hitler's armies march into Poland and the world begins its final descent toward war, Jack Churchill stands on a competitive field and represents England at the World Archery Championship. Think about what that means. Not a man who occasionally shoots arrows in his garden, a nationally ranked archer, a man whose accuracy with a medieval weapon has been measured, tested, and found worthy of international competition. He also plays bagpipes professionally. He enters competitions. He wins. And then, in the 1930s, he briefly leaves the army altogether, travels, and appears as an extra in a film called The Thief of Baghdad. A soldier, an archer, a bagpiper, a film extra. The question is not what kind of man does all of these things. The question is, what does a man like this do when the largest war in human history arrives at his door? September 1939, Britain declares war on Germany. Most men receive this news with dread. Jack Churchill receives it like an answer. May 10th, 1940, Germany launches its Western offensive. What follows is not a battle, it is a collapse. The Blitzkrieg moves faster than Allied commanders can think. Panzer divisions cutting through France like the country is made of paper. Stuka bombers screaming down on columns of retreating men. Entire defensive lines evaporating within hours. With the British Expeditionary Force caught in the advance has one option left: run. The 2nd Battalion Manchester Regiment does not run. They are assigned rearguard duty, which is a military term for something far simpler and far darker. Stay behind, hold the line, buy time with your lives so the men behind you can reach the sea. Churchill is with them. In the open countryside near Lepinette, flat ground, no cover, clear sightlines, he watches the German advance approach. And here is the detail that changes everything about this moment. Churchill has a rifle. Every man in that field has a rifle. He does not reach for it. He reaches for a bow that hasn't been used as a weapon of war since the fields of medieval Europe. A weapon that the last 400 years of military progress had declared obsolete, unnecessary, and forgotten. He notches an arrow. He draws to full tension. He releases. A German NCO falls dead in a French field. Be the last confirmed bow and arrow kill in recorded warfare, filed in military records, set quietly aside because no one in the chain of command quite knew what category to put it in. The Battle of France ends in British defeat. Dunkirk happens, 300,000 men pulled from a burning beach by military vessels, civilian boats, fishing trawlers, anything that floats. The greatest evacuation in military history, a defeat that Britain somehow turns into a story of survival. And Churchill survives with them. But here is what nobody asks. What does a man like Jack Churchill do after Dunkirk? After surviving a rearguard action that should have killed him, after filing the most unusual kill record of the entire war? What does he do next? Britain is rebuilding, and inside that rebuilding, a new kind of soldier is being invented. The Commandos are not conventional forces. They do not hold lines or defend positions. They are designed for something more surgical. Fast raids, precise strikes, operations that hit before the enemy can respond and vanish before they can retaliate. Churchill joins No. 2 Commando. He brings his claymore sword. Nobody tells him not to. September 1943. Operation Avalanche. The Allied invasion of Italy. Salerno beaches, one of the most heavily contested amphibious landings of the entire war. German forces are dug in, waiting. The noise of the assault, engines, gunfire, the organized chaos of thousands of men hitting a defended shore fills everything. And above it all, bagpipes. Churchill walks onto that beach, playing. Not because the war has broken something in him, because he understands that fear is a weapon, and it cuts in both directions. The Germans hear something ancient and inexplicable, cutting through the noise of modern war, something that doesn't belong in 1943, something that makes them, for just one crucial moment, hesitate. His men do not hesitate. They take the beach. But it is later that year, in the Sicilian operations of No. 2 Commando, that Churchill does something that strains the limits of what military records are supposed to contain. He plans a nighttime raid. Darkness, silence, the element of complete surprise. These are the weapons of a commando raid, and Churchill understands them with the same precision he brings to a longbow. He takes one corporal. He carries his claymore sword. See, they move through the dark toward a German position. They return with 42 prisoners, including a mortar squad, one officer, one corporal, one sword, 42 prisoners. The record is filed. The war moves on, and somewhere in the Allied command structure, someone reads that report and has absolutely no idea what to write in response. By 1944, Churchill has fought across France, Italy, and Sicily. He has killed with a bow and arrow. He has captured dozens of enemy soldiers with a medieval sword. He has walked onto an invasion beach playing bagpipes. The Germans have been watching this man. They have a plan for him. 1944, Yugoslavia, the Adriatic Theater. Churchill is leading operations when German forces close in. What happens next is not a defeat. It is an encirclement. His unit is overwhelmed. The men around him fall one by one. The position becomes indefensible. There is no tunnel out this time. No rearguard strategy, no medieval weapon that changes the mathematics of the situation. He is the last man, and he is still playing his bagpipes. That is not a detail added for effect. That is what the records say. Surrounded, outnumbered, his unit gone. Jack Churchill stands in the dark in Yugoslavia and plays his bagpipes until the Germans reach him, until there is nothing left to do but be captured. They take him to Sachsenhausen, This is not a prison. Sachsenhausen is one of the most secured facilities in the entire Nazi system, a concentration camp north of Berlin, designed with one purpose. People enter, they do not leave. The walls, the guards, the architecture of the place, everything exists to make escape not just difficult, but structurally impossible. Churchill tunnels out. He is recaptured, transferred to Niederdorf in South Tyrol. Different walls, different guards, same man. April 1945. American forces reach Niederdorf. They open the doors. Churchill walks out, captured twice, imprisoned in 2 separate facilities, escaped once under his own effort, liberated once by Allied forces. The war in Europe ends 1 month later. Germany surrenders. The world celebrates. Churchill is reportedly disappointed. In his own words, if it wasn't for the Americans, they could have kept it going another 10 years. The man who survived everything the war threw at him is unhappy that it ended. The guns go quiet. The maps are redrawn. The world that existed before 1939 is gone, replaced by something exhausted, cautious, and desperate for peace. Churchill serves in Palestine during the 1948 conflict. One more theater, one more front. The stillness of peacetime does not suit a man built the way he is built. So he moves, he serves, he keeps going. And then, Australia. Churchill travels to the other side of the world and learns to surf. He becomes one of the first wave surfers in Britain, a man who carried medieval weapons through the most modern war ever fought, now standing on a board in the Pacific Ocean, reading water the same way he once read a battlefield. He does not stop. He does not slow. He does not look back. John Malcolm Thorpe Fleming Churchill dies on March 8, 1996, Surrey, England. He is 89 years old. He outlives the war. He outlives most of the men who fought beside him. He outlives the entire world that made him necessary. What remains is a military record, filed in 1940, northern France. A bow and arrow kill in the middle of the most mechanized war ever fought. A document that sits in an archive and asks, quietly, the same question it always has. What kind of man does something like that? History remembers its generals, its strategies, its turning points, and its treaties. It is less comfortable with men who refuse to fit inside it. The men who carry longbows into modern wars, who capture 42 soldiers with a sword, who play bagpipes on invasion beaches and in the dark in Yugoslavia, surrounded, alone, still standing. History does not have a category for Jack Churchill. It only has the records. And the records say he was real. Every impossible word of it.